Hello, welcome to an episode of That Green Thing. Today I'm going to show you a cactus tree. I'd call it a tree. I started it from seed 44 years ago. I've had the plant that long, and I feel like it's nearing its end, if not dead already. It's still green, but I've noticed some subtle changes in it, and I'd like to show that to you. It's an old plant, so it's unfortunate if it dies, but those things happen sometimes. I've got it in my sunroom here. I've repotted it, I think, a year ago, and it did well this past summer. I put it outdoors in the summertime. It started dropping little sections, and I rooted a couple of them, and one has actually grown a foot and doing well, it seems. Let me switch to the view of the plant, and we'll have a look at that. Okay, here's a view of the plant. I've got others around it. It's quite heavy, and I just watered it. It's got water in the basin. I don't feel like moving it out. But here it is. The subtle changes I've noticed are the stems are lacking turgidity, stiffness. It's extremely sharp and barbed, so I don't like to touch it a lot. But the stems don't feel filled with water. They're starting to dry out. They also lack the luster of a new plant. This is a very of a living plant. A very subtle thing is that the sun, when it bounces off a cactus, I don't know if any of you have cacti or have been growing cacti, but when the sun hits them, they refract rather than reflect light. Refracting is the light goes inside the plant, bounces around, and comes back out. And it comes back out with little crystalline colors, all colors of the rainbow. If you've seen it, you know what I mean. If you don't, think about it. You have to look very closely, and it almost glistens like little multicolored diamonds. Anyway, that luster is disappearing from the plant. Also, this summer, I looked into it. It had some tip dieback. And each time the tips died back, I found that it was a fungus. And if you don't remove the infected tips, it can kill the plant. Now, I don't know. Maybe the fungus got into the vascular system of the plant and killed it, or is killing it. I'm going to prune some sections out right now. I'm going to give it a chance. There's the cutting I spoke of at the base. I just stuck it in. It fell off the plant like cactus drop sections which sprout roots and grow. That's one of the ways they reproduce. So there's a nice little cutting. It's got leaves on it. Tiny little leaves. I don't know if it's infected also. It could be. We'll have to wait and see. I've had it 44 years. I can wait a few months and see what happens. But I have a quotation from myself. I call it "dead is dead." If you've got dead, obviously dead sections on a plant, remove it. There's no reason to keep dead. It can only just add to more problems. So I've got some large sections and some smaller sections. I'm going to carefully remove the dead and see if that makes a difference. This summer, I removed a dead stem, and I found it was so curious. I removed the bark carefully with a penknife. I was curious because this little stick here is 44 years old or somewhere around there. But it's extremely durable. It's like steel. I almost couldn't break it. You can bend it and bend it. it's almost like a space age material, extremely strong. And it's got striations and depressions. It's very interesting to me because I love plants. Anyway, let me set up my tripod if I can. And because it's so hard, I have to saw off some of them at the base. Like this section here. That's dead. I've got to saw it off way down here. So let me set up my tripod here somehow. I can't cut that with bypass pruners. It's too hard. I have to saw it off. I've got a little keyhole saw. So let me try that. Alrighty. I'm going to do it in one cut. See what happens. For the love of plants. My goodness. Hopefully I'm not snapping all the roots. But dead is dead. I don't like having a half-dead plant sitting around. Almost got it. There we go. Keyhole saw. I'll probably never use it again. Alrighty. Now, I'm looking for other sections. That's as good as dead. I don't even know if I can cut this. Oh, it's like steel. I'll have to cut that with the saw also. All right. Try that. This is not easy. I mean, not easy in that I don't want to damage the rest of the plant. My goodness. All right. Did you ever go in and cut something and then forget what you were cutting and find you cut something green? Well, I think I got the right one here. Alrighty. It had one little green spot, but geez, for the most part, I think it's not a viable. There's moisture in the stem, but hey, not really a viable branch. That's two. All right, and now the minor pruning. I'll just cut those to the floor. Carefully. Not sharp. Or they're sharp, but it's very fibrous, stringy. I'm trying to make proper cuts. No stubs. Here's a little piece. This is called sanitation. Possibly by removing the dead pieces, I'm also removing infected fungal sections, or sections infected by fungi. Whoop. A little bit of live on that, no biggie. Yeah, I still have some hope. You know, that doesn't look too bad. I've just watered it too. You know, I only water my cacti once a month in the winter. It's always worked for me. Here's a brief look at my other cacti and some gifts of orchids. Oh yeah. I believe I've got some others. Yep, there's some big bruisers. I've had these for probably 30 years. Not necessarily this plant, but you see they're always putting off offshoots. So when the parent plant gets too big, which they do for me, they can get to be 40 pounds in a big pot. I'll throw that away and start a new one. Sorry, I can't grow everything. How about these little I think they're agaves. I've been repotting those for 40 years. My college roommate gave me a little slip, and every year they bust out of the pot. They get so large. So I repot it each year. Usually I keep one, but they're just so cute. I kept two this year. I've got a bromeliad. I don't know how to grow those. It's looking a little better. I've had that for about a year. Just an experiment. Anyway, I'm getting off the track. So there's my 44-year-old cactus, pruned. Perhaps I'll give you an update on it in a couple of months. We'll see what happens. Thanks a lot for watching.